day or so had gone by. Marjo tamed a few more alpaca. Other than that, not a lot had happened. Our prisoner, pretty beat up still. Not feeling well, but we were in good health and spirits. All of our animals were cozy, sleeping well. There was still that weird fungus gnawing at the side of my thoughts, worrying me. I'd have to get to the bottom of that. Marjo and I were having a good time before getting out of bed. Hardy somehow slept through it. Then we got up about 6 a.m. and had a meal. Decided I was going to do something about that fungus before it did something about us. I just had a weird feeling, couldn't let it go. So I grabbed the Molotov cocktails, ran out there, started burning the fungus. It liked to spread where other plants were. Seemed to like to hide underneath them and around them, so you didn't see it till you were upon it. Not sure how much of this I'd get done before it rained. So far the day looked clear, but that could easily change. And sure enough, rainy thunderstorms set in once I had a bunch of it on fire, so I had to give up for the day. But I wouldn't forget. Marjo, she'd been researching the whole time, doing some cleaning once in a while. I got back to the business of cooking. Decided to build another shelf, keep the meals on since we had the space. We had a bunch of animals that needed butchering as well, but we still had some meat laying around. Marjo had released that prisoner while I was burning the fungus. So relations had improved with those people. One of our cats got into it with a rabbit, got pretty beat up. Marjo got it taken care of though. I was off to bed about 7 p.m. Been a long day, running around in the rain. Marjo came to bed shortly after. There was some weird alien outside. I could hear this crazy squeaking noise. Didn't seem to be bothering any other animals. But something seemed weird. I didn't think I could let something like that live. Freaky looking thing. Looked like it had been going around, killing other animals. It was also super fast, super freaky looking. I'd never seen anything like it. I wasn't sure what to think. Marjo and I, laying in bed, messing around a little bit. And then we got up, decided probably should do something about that alien out there while it was sleeping. I went and grabbed the assault rifle, and I kept the Molotovs with me so I could burn some more of that fungus. And then I ran outside to see if I could sneak up on it. It was sleeping, laying in the grass. Marjo figured out how to make blowback operation right about that time, and then she jumped on figuring out gun turrets. I started shooting that thing. Somehow it was healing as fast as I could shoot it. But I did manage to kill it. Down it went. I was still holding an incendiary launcher too as it happens. I was going to have to get rid of that at some point. I burned that alien's body, lest something weird come out of that. And then it was time to get back to the fungus that was growing. I could hear it making noises when I got close, shooting out spores I could see in the air. I was trying to keep my distance. There's a chance that alien I just killed would come from these things. I didn't want to risk it. So I started the rest of it on fire that I could get to. Did the best I could. Despite the rain, it seemed like it might be a waste of time. It seems like every time I come out here and get all this stuff burning, rain starts. I was about to call it for the day. I realized I'd forgotten a bunch. Not much I could do with the rain though, so I'd have to let it go for now. I got back to the business of cooking. Even butchered up all the animals we had laying around. Marjo is still figuring out how to make turrets. It's a little sad butchering up our cats that had died. But oh well. Better than starving to death. So I butchered all the creatures we had sitting there. We got that new shelf built. And then we were off to bed. There was more fungus laying around out there. That stuff was sneaky. You're going to have to deal with that. Marjo and I were having a good time before she got out of bed. I slept in that day, feeling a little bit off, but not too bad. Marjo got to the business of researching and doing some cleaning. We reorganized the room. She did. She got the bright idea she needed a bigger, fancier research bench. So by the time I got up, she had the plans all laid out, and I just decided to build it for her. Made her happy, and probably speed up her progress as well, so you can't really complain. So I worked on that first thing. She kept right on researching. Out that time, a bunch of jerks showed up, thinking they were going to besiege us. So we grabbed their weaponry and ran on out. Marjo, used a psychic shock lance on one of them. It seemed to work out pretty well. Down he went. There are still quite a few of those jerks over there, though. Fortunately, my weapon has this crazy range, if you can just manage to hit with the thing. Decided I was going to sneak up a little closer. Marjo was coming to join me as well. All their supplies arrived by drop pod. I was over there trying to shoot them up. I was looking for the ones that had the guns with the longest range. But one fella had grenades, so I decided maybe he'd be a good target as well, if he didn't walk out of range. So I shot the guy with the grenades, and then I started taking aim on the other fella. Didn't have any luck right away though. Marjo's gun was outranged by those people. They had these old bolt-action rifles. Weird that those would outrange a modern-day assault rifle type gun, but it is what it is. They were building their mortars. I was having decent luck shooting them up. I plugged this dude a few times. Looked like he was having a hard time, wasn't even tending himself. But he didn't go down, so I kept on shooting till he did. And I had some good luck there. There were some rhinos nearby. I was thinking about seeing if Marjo could aggravate them enough to go attack these dudes. Problem is, they might just as likely attack us. So Marjo was sneaking around cover, trees, rocks, and boulders and stuff, trying to get a good shot on somebody. And she eventually made it around. At that point, they started going for her though, so she hightailed it out of there. She was lucky though, didn't get hit. With that guy lured out, I was trying to shoot him, but his cover was too good over there. Marjo withdrew back to my position. They were still building their little base thing. Marjo decided to double back, see if she could take him out. And I just kept shooting at the nearest fella that looked like he didn't have much armor on. I wasn't having any luck anymore though. About that time, they got one of their mortars online. I decided to shoot the guy that was operating it. And they got some shots off. Destroyed our turret gun, the bastards. But none of our animals died. And no walls were even destroyed, so I wouldn't complain too much. So we just kept trying to take them out. Marjo had some luck shooting one big bearded bastard. We were trying to get the guy shooting the mortar. He kept running out of range. And down he went though. We got lucky. And they decided probably better to come after us and keep trying to lob these mortar shells. Although one of them did kindly take the time to repair the damaged mortar we'd shot up. The fellow that got up from the psychic shock lance, he decided to bugger off. He had had enough. He figured discretion is a better part of valor or something. We were running back, trying to get inside. Those stupid bastards got a hold of one of our alpacas. Turns out, I forgot to tell him to go inside. And they shot him up pretty good and then stabbed it dead. But it is what it is. They were chasing after us. We were running inside. One thing they didn't know is that we had all these traps set up. And we're a pretty good shot. At least I am. So the first couple that came charging in stepped on the traps, got themselves killed, and the rest decided to bugger off. And we came running out yelling, trying to give him the business. He was booking it, and we were having a hard time hitting him. But eventually, bam, I took him right in the back of the head. Sadly, the rest of these jerks are going to get away. But it was what it was. One of them had gone down right in the water. He's pretty well injured. Bled out pretty well. But as it happens, we weren't going to try and rescue him, being that he's a pirate and all. Kind of a jerk anyways. At that point, we were starving. Our place was a mess. Our gun had been blown up. I went over there, took that guy's clothes. Marjo did. Gave him a good kick in the ribs too while he was down. Trying not to drown in that lake. Water rushing by. We didn't really have any pity for him. So one of our new alpacas, no more. Marjo was in bed. There was a whole lot of work to do. But I guess it's okay. They had left us 2 mortars. That'd be fun. Next time this happened, we could just shoot right at him instead of having to run out. Deal with it the old-fashioned way. Made a plan on where to put those. Even going to build a shelf. Put the shells on. I was off to bed about midnight. I'd had enough running around. I'd seen too many dead people. I was soaking wet. Marjo was just a little crabby about not having any fun time. And when Marjo got up, she had some food. And she reminded me we were out of meals and I hadn't cooked in a while. And so I was going to have to make that a priority. She hopped back in bed though. And she was so tired. Marjo got up, used the telescope. I was sleeping in though. It'd been a long night. And when I got up, I ate a little pemmican myself. Decided to get rid of that incendiary launcher I'd been holding. And I grabbed those Molotovs because I might as well get around to burning the rest of that fungus that was growing up north. There's also some dead bodies around. It wouldn't hurt to burn those up. So, I started it all on fire. There were still some crypto sleep caskets nearby. I wasn't about to go messing with them though. God knows what's going to come out of those things. Certainly can't be anything good. Based on what I saw come out of the rest of that ship. So I burned the rest of the fungus. It was finally gone, hopefully. I'd have to keep this in mind next time one of those ships came out of the sky. Turns out, some of that fungus had survived, though. It was real sneaky, persnickety stuff. This time I was sure I'd got the last of it, but it was about the third time that I was sure. I'd have to keep an eye out, see if it spreads any further. But I think we're safe for now. We decided to take our alpaca in and get that thing butchered. Plus there were still a lot of supplies laying around. Those pirates had left us. I decided while I was over there, I might as well burn those bodies. No sense leaving them laying around when I have the ability to deal with it. There's still some shells over there, which might burn up as well. But it was what it was. Marjo was doing some cleaning. I carried everything back. We were running out of storage space again, which is a little frustrating. Decided we better set those guns up just to free up some space. Sadly, those shells must have burned up. Well, we still had a few. Hopefully it'd be enough, should we need them. That was quite the wildfire raging. And there was a bunch of sandbags we could try and deconstruct, but for now we decided to let it go. We had enough steel for the minute. Marjo got herself caught on fire, running over there trying to pick something up. I'm not really sure how she did it. She's usually pretty smart, but she ended up getting a couple burns from it before she got the fire out. There were some deer collapsing and writhing around, and there were some aliens. One of them was being eaten by an alien, and then an alien popped out of the second one, and then a third one went down. I could hear these things bleating and screaming, and these aliens making crazy noises nearby. So we had 3 of these aliens that just appeared, and holy shit were they fast. They moved so fast I couldn't even really see them. Something was going to have to be done about these things. God knows what they're going to do to us. They seemed to have popped right out of those deer, and those deer, I'd saw them up there mucking around near that strange fungus. I was pretty sure I knew what had happened there. Those aliens were still pretty tiny, but holy crap did they have an appetite, man. They just kill something and eat it. Sit there and eat the whole thing, and they buzz around, top speed. Freaky little things, man. Something's gonna have to be done here. I didn't like the idea of having to go out and deal with them, but it was what it was. I was sleeping, terrified. Marjo was going to work with the pets, but they were going to sleep. We decided probably should call it a night. Marjo needed tending for her burns, so I got that taken care of. I couldn't even find those critters. They moved so fast and had taken off. The fire was raging everywhere. I was sleeping. They ended up killing some nearby gazelle. Only 2 of them seemed to be present. One of them was already growing, though. Damn thing had doubled in size already. I guess when you eat like that, I could see the other one growing too. No telling what these things are going to turn into. I wouldn't mind containing one for study. That doesn't seem like a safe bet. We grabbed what we thought were the best weapons we had to deal with this issue. There was a fox and a gazelle in a fight, and then the alien came over and killed the fox, and then a second alien came over and started eating it. This was a real nightmare, man. So we met up, decided to get over there and give that thing business if we could. Holy shit, were they fast. We managed to bring it down. They seem to heal as fast as you can wound them, though, just like the big one I'd killed did. Between the Molotovs and the assault rifle, we were really going nuts on these things. We didn't want to let them get away either. And then one of them started attacking Marjo. Fortunately, she had some armor on, but it got a hold of her. I managed to shoot it, and it scared it off a little bit. And she started tossing Molotovs at it, but didn't have much luck. We decided our best bet better be to stay together on this. That thing would seem to be running from us. That didn't stop us from getting a hold of it with our guns. Marjo actually dropped the Molotov right into our laps. Caught me on fire. I was burning now. She wouldn't put the fire out. She proclaimed that she refuses to put out any fire anywhere. Eventually, though, it went out because it was raining. That damn critter was still alive. So we ran up on it. Once again, you could see it growing. It was insane. We decided we'd leave that one alone for a minute. Try and kill one of the other ones. This is a real mad thing. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. They just run around eating everything, growing like crazy. Who knows what they're going to turn into? Certainly something that could probably beat the living crap out of us. So, we killed the second one. And we were shooting the other one up. It finally went down, injured. You could see it healing. It got right back up. After all that, we were both pretty hungry and beat up. As we were going inside, one of our conduits exploded and started burning up all the meals I'd cooked. And it didn't take long, for they were completely destroyed. Didn't help out that Marjo won't put out a single fire. I was getting a little bit irritated with her about that. Seemed like she could do something to help. We both went to bed, but I had to jump up, get us both tended. Didn't need to get any more permanent injuries. Not that we had any yet. I got up and cooked a meal, then I was back to bed. I ended up burning my eyeball on that Molotov. Turns out it had scarred it permanently. Marjo felt terribly bad about it, being that she'd been the one that caused it. So she promised me she was going to figure out a way to make a new eyeball that was better than the one I had had before. A wild pig came running in and died on our traps about that time. We'd have to get some traps rebuilt. And I was having a hard time seeing out of my right eye. But it certainly could be worse. We'll see what Marjo can come up with. She's pretty smart. I think she'll figure something great out for me. I just had to get through the hard times here. I was repairing the walls from our power conduit that blew up. Marjo started working on the traps. Got that dead pig hauled in. She was working on the cats, trying to get them trained up well. At some point, when I hit the road, I was going to sell those buggers. Marjo started working on smelting up the pieces of the turret that had been destroyed by the mortar. I was working on cooking. We were short one stool, but we weren't too worried about it. I'd left my gun laying around randomly, but we really didn't have anywhere to put it. So I was just working on cooking meals, getting a nice stockpile built up. Those aliens seem to have stayed dead, which is good. I was still wondering if anything else bad was going to come from that. Hopefully they didn't infect our cats or our remaining alpacas. I was chilling out having a beer. Marjo went to deconstruct the sandbags those pirates had left us. And then she got it all brought back in, which is good. We had plenty of steel, but it would go fast if things went south for us. We both hit the hay, 10, 11 o'clock. It felt like relations were deteriorating with our neighbors, but let them deteriorate, I guess. Not much we can do about it right now. We had a good amount of meals, but I was making more in anticipation of leaving here. Marjo was just cleaning up, doing repairs, smelting junky weapons away to get whatever steel we could from them. And I finished the last of the meals, decided to make some more packaged survival meals. I heard dead squirrels all around the map, for whatever reason. Marjo really wanted to haul all these little dead critters in, put them in her stockpile. She just thought the whole area needed to be as tidy as it could be, apparently. But I wasn't gonna complain too much. Felt like a waste of time to me, and she agreed. So she finally put away the gun I'd left laying in the workroom. The place was a mess. We could probably do some cleaning, that was for sure. And so she hauled stuff around a bit, just tied it up, which once in a while needs to be done. I decided I'd better get to the business, getting some rice put in the ground. We did have a bunch of rice still laying in a bedroom, which was going to have to be dealt with at some point. So we decided to bring that down to the kitchen. We were debating on making a bigger freezer so the rice would keep longer. But if we just turn it all into meals, we should have plenty of space. We don't need to overdo it here. So I got a bunch of the rice put down. What I could went in the fridge. The rest sat right outside. Another dead rat on the map. Marjo tried to run out there after it. There was a grizzly hanging out nearby, along with that dead fella we'd shot a while ago. That grizzly had been hunting one of our cats. And then that grizzly went down on our trap, trying to get inside. So we're going to have to finish him off. I worked on rice, I ran around, I had a meal. Marjo rebuilt the trap and killed the grizzo. Our freezer was full at the minute. We needed somewhere to put that grizzly. So we just moved a little bit of meat around. It's fine. Marjo was building turrets. She'd figured out how to make them. So I built one, she built one, and I started working on another, but it was time to get back to bed. It'd been a long day. Marjo woke up pretty early. She got right to the business of researching. She was trying to figure out how to make prosthetics. Hell-bent as she was, doing something about my eye that she'd half destroyed. I don't hold it against her, though. She certainly didn't do it on purpose. So I built the last turret, worked on the rice, and then went and visited Butter's grave. I barely even remember that dog. It feels like it's been so long, even though in reality, it's probably been a year or two tops. So I planted rice, Marjo researched, and when the rice was done, decided maybe some additional meals were in order. If I was going to hit the road, Marjo was going to need some fine meals. She wasn't the best cook, so I figured I'd better take care of her. And there were plenty of packet survival meals for me to take. Then I cooked for a while, and then I got into bed. Marjo came and joined me. This would probably be our last night together for a little while, since in the morning I was going to try and take off. And when I got up, I had myself a meal. And that was that. Decided it was high time to get on out of here. I was going to bring 2 of the cats, make that 3, leave 1 around, be a nice little pet. Probably get killed at some point, but we'll take care of it till it does. And maybe we can keep it safe. I packed up all kinds of stuff to sell, weapons and clothes, and decided to head off towards the nearest settlement. So that became the plan. And then I started packing. It occurred to me while I was packing, that was probably a hostile settlement. And there's no sense going over there, visiting some people that are probably hostile to me. That could just turn into a big mess. So I would change gears when I got on the road. That was just fine. Marjo was just going to research the whole time I was gone, she proclaimed. I was loading up the animals. Kitty seemed happy to be leaving. She figured out prosthetics. Marjo did. And she wanted to figure out bionics next, but there was a whole bunch of other stuff she had to do as prerequisites. Turns out you can't just make bionics. So I got all the animals together, kissed Marjo. I was out, hit the road. So there were some friendlies nearby in the city. Made it a point to head that way. Marjo just researched, had beer, and I walked. Seems like we ought to make some kind of conveyance. Small car, even a motorcycle would be pretty useful. Save me so much time, and the roads are pretty decent. At 11 o'clock, Marjo is off to bed. She is feeling good, a little drunk. I was sleeping on the road in my bedroll. Feeling pretty good myself, though. Didn't have a lot to complain about. Or anything, really. I was gonna miss Marjo, but I'd be back before too long. Just see what I could find out in the world. None of that fungus seemed to regrow. Those aliens seemed to stay dead. Best case scenario. And so for now, everything was alright.